Brett Napoli is the founder and CEO of Ambition Insight, a Fort Lauderdale-based web development and media company specializing in WordPress websites, web consulting, online publishing, and internet entrepreneurship. Brett is a seasoned developer and manager of premium websites, online publications, digital media, and internet assets. Since 2009, his online publications have served over 350 million ad impressions and consistently reach hundreds of thousands of unique monthly visitors. Brett will be presenting as well as providing one-on-one workshops and consulting sessions at the Domain Conference. The topics will include web consulting, WordPress web design and development, website critiques, online business consulting, design and user experience, search engine optimization, social media, and online marketing. Please welcome Brett Napoli.
Can everybody hear me clearly? Yes? Okay, so this isn't really so much about WordPress. It's really about how to turn a domain name into a real business, more so than just WordPress. The two most inexpensive ways to monetize a domain name are lead generation and blogging. So we're going to talk about that today. The title of this talk is Essential Components of an Engaging Blog or Lead Generation WordPress Website and How to Turn It into a Cash Machine. I'm going to talk very quickly. I'm going to cover a lot of information. I'm going to bombard you with knowledge, and I just want to give you as much possible information that you can use to monetize your domains. Once again, my name is Brett Napoli, founder and CEO of Ambition Insight. So we're going to start with a quote from Mark Zuckerberg. People think innovation is just having a good idea, but a lot of it is just moving quickly and trying a lot of things. So what I'm going to try to do is tell you as many possible things that you can try to turn your domain name into a real business without spending a tremendous amount of money. So we're going to start with the golden rule of business, which is how to make money anywhere. Solve problems, reduce costs, and create value. Your domain name should do all of these three things all of the time. Back one. And next, the golden rule of blogging, which is post quality, unique, interesting content consistently over time. If your content is not quality, if it is not unique to your website, if it's not interesting, and if you don't post consistently, you're never going to gain any traction and you're never going to make any money. Next, the golden rule of lead generation, which is systematically identify your ideal clients and collect them and connect them with solutions quickly. Your leads lose value every day that they sit there, so as soon as it sits in your queue, the more it ages, the less valuable it is to a potential lead buyer. So today's topics are 10 most important web design tips, what you need to get started, a domain development checklist, 14 key blogging practices, 7 key lead generation practices, a design layout and widget guide, which is going to tell you exactly what to place on your website and where, suggested pages and components, 16 essential WordPress plugins, development resources so you can find themes and other plugins to enhance your site, popular blog growth strategies, primary and secondary revenue streams, how to grow and increase your page views and your revenue, and how to maximize your ad revenue, and then most importantly, how to stand the test of time. So just quickly, a little background on me, founder and CEO of Ambition Insight, Fort Lauderdale-based WordPress development and consulting company. I've built over 500 WordPress websites myself and worked on well over 1,000. I created websiteschool.com, a WordPress training, videos, and tutorials website with over 130 instructional WordPress videos. I've developed a social media following of over 100,000 people. My first WordPress blog reached 987,000 page views in one day. And currently with 2 blogs, we're averaging 500,000 uniques, 1.2 million page views per month, and a social reach of 200,000 people per week. Since 2011, my WordPress blogs have served over 350 million page views and over 500 million ad impressions. The 2 primary blogs are collegecures.com and thatdrop.com. As you can see, some of our primary blog advertisers are Fortune 500 companies, a lot of which you'll most definitely recognize. And I'll get into how brands are where all the money is at a little bit later. So first, the 10 most important web design tips. Let your website help you. It should solve problems, it should reduce costs, and it should give you the ability to capture value. It should most definitely do all of these 3 things all of the time. Make your primary income source and your message should be ridiculously obvious. I should know in the first 7 seconds of getting to your website why I'm there, and what's in it for me. You should simplify everything. Simplify your idea and focus only on the key points, only what's going to generate revenue for you. Your user experience is paramount. When you do anything on your website, you want to make sure that you want to think to yourself, is this going to benefit the user? Is this going to create a great user experience? Because that's what gets people back to your site, and that's what inevitably is going to make you the most money. Websites are built around content, not the other way around. Don't look for a WordPress theme and then fill your content into that theme. You should think of the content that needs to be on your website, only that content, and build your website around that content only. Don't fill in spaces. It's all in the details. Having a mistyped word, having a dead link, having an image that's too small or too large, that single detail could make somebody leave your website and most likely never come back again. So focus on every detail on every page all of the time. Photos are not an option. If you don't include photos in your WordPress website or in your website in general, it's not going to set the tone, and it's going to reduce the ability for people to be really, really interested in what they see. So always use photos, and I'm going to give you a couple places where you can find those photos later. Flexibility is essential, which is why you use WordPress in the first place. You need to be able to change your site, modify it, move things around all the time. Having that flexibility in your content management system allows you to pivot and change your income stream at any time. If you have a custom developed website that's really in depth and your developer suddenly is no longer there, you're not going to be able to change and make pivots and change your revenue streams at the blink of an eye. Quality matters. Quality of your content, quality of your development, quality of your search engine optimization is the most important. So always focus on quality and user experience. And also, prepare for the future. Don't think about who's making money now. Think about where they're going to be making money 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and build your website around where it's going to go. Skate to where the puck will be, not where it is right now. So here's what you need to get started. I know there's a lot of extension guys out there, so please don't be mad at me. I believe that you need a great and memorable .com domain name. I just believe that to be true. You need a great idea, solution, or purpose. Don't just build a website without an idea or without a solution or without a purpose. Don't build something that's not going to create value and something that you're not really interested in, you're going to love for the long term. You need quality web hosting and quality security. If your website goes down, it can make or break your ability to consistently make cash. So make sure that you invest in quality web hosting and quality security. It's incredibly important. Don't save a couple bucks per month, you're going to end up losing it in the long run. You need a premium WordPress theme. Don't use a free theme. They are garbage. You need to invest in a premium theme. They're not that much money. Definitely invest in a premium theme. I'll tell you where to find those later. Focus on a simple design. Focus straight on those key points, straight on those revenue drivers, and make sure that it's clear as day. Your site needs to be responsive and mobile friendly. Once again, where is the market going to be? It's all going mobile, it's all going tablets. You need to make sure that your site is responsive. Otherwise, Google, for one, will penalize you, and your user experience is not going to be quality. And once again, we know how important the user experience is. You need quality, unique, interesting, authoritative content. Which means that you have to really love what you're writing your content about or what you're posting on your site. Make sure that it is the highest quality and that it is better and more authoritative than everyone else. If you phone it in and shop your blog posts out from elsewhere, people are going to be able to see right through that content. Consistency. It doesn't matter if you post once a month, once a day, once a week, even once a quarter. You just have to be consistent with it so that the people that come to your site know exactly when they can expect new content. So really focus on consistency. There is no guideline. It doesn't have to be every day, but make sure that whatever you do it consistently. You have to have a social presence and social signals. So make sure that your website also has some social component. Facebook page, a Twitter page, an Instagram page, a Snapchat page. Find some social way to interact with your followers on something other than your website to pull them back in. I personally think Facebook is by far the best driver of traffic when it comes to social media. We'll talk more about that later. The next thing is collaboration. You need to find other people in your space and collaborate with them. Share links with them, share content with them, because they're going to be the first ones that drive major content to your site. So you need to make friends with the other people in your space and collaborate with them on ideas, because it's going to help both of you become more successful. So bartering with other people in your space is a great thing because it doesn't cost you much and it doesn't cost them much. And you guys can share your traffic and nobody loses. The next thing that you need is time. There's no way to expedite the time other than cash, but you're still gonna need time to incubate that idea, to develop your following. So make sure that you have plenty of time. Don't expect to make cash really, really quickly. And the last thing you obviously need is money. There's no way to just develop a site and turn cash from it. You need to invest money into it just like any other business. So make sure that you set enough cash aside to build the site and develop it and consistently feed it with content over time. So next is your domain development checklist. First, you need your idea. It's gonna solve problems, it's gonna reduce costs, and it's gonna create value. Spend a lot of time thinking of this idea and pick the domain name that's right to execute that idea, one that's gonna create something that has the most value, reduce costs, and solves problems. Think of what your primary focus is. You're gonna target 3 keywords or 3 objectives. Use the Google keyword tool to identify what those keywords might be, but there should be 3 primary objectives, and everything that you do on that site should drive those main points. Next, you want to identify your market and figure out how and why other people are making money in that space. Look at what they're doing. Look at what's on their site, look at what's on their social media, and take notes from what they've got, because that's going to be the easiest and quickest roadmap to you being successful with your site. So part of that is identifying your competitors and where are they successful and where can you improve beyond what they do. What can you do better than them? What unique advantage do you have that they don't? The next is focusing on the future and the potential, as I mentioned before. Where is the market going? Is it growing? And is it really worth investing in this because it's going to make money not for another year or another 2 years down the line? So make sure that you pay attention to the future and the potential of where your site could go. The next is the benefits. There's not only are there benefits on your website like generating cash immediately, but there's also benefits off-site, meaning will you be able to turn your site into something that can maybe sell tickets or sell products at a live event where you could use the brand that you created on your website or your brand and sell something off of your website. So take that into consideration as well, because online is not the only place to make money. You should use your popularity online to make money in the real world. The next thing is your timeline. You need to understand your total investment over 24 months and what you're really willing to put into this. So chart it out right from the beginning and plan on not making a penny till 24 months. Ideally, you'll make money before that, but make sure that you have enough investment over that 24 months so that you evenly invest it over time. You want to start your investment big at the very beginning, create a big buzz, and then start to trail it off as time goes on. You're going to need a 7 to 12 month incubation period, which means what you save in overhead from a traditional business, you're going to lose in time. So that first 7 to 12 months, it's not like we open a business on the street corner and everyone sees it when they drive by. You're going to need to really build up a following, and usually it'll take about 7 to 12 months. With my experience, it takes about 7 to 12 months to turn it into a real business where people consistently come back. And the next thing is you need to identify your revenue streams immediately. Don't wait to put banner advertisements. Don't wait to monetize your site until it gets popular. Don't go for the Facebook method. Figure out how to monetize it from day one, even if it only makes a penny a day. So these are 14 key blogging practices. Your blog and magazine website needs the following things. It needs focused categories and sections that drive your 3 target keywords and objectives. It needs clear, concise, informative, and captivating post titles. You can see the difference between tuna casserole recipe and delicious tuna casserole recipe in 5 easy steps. Which one do you want to click on? Which one is going to be more engaging? Which one is going to be more interesting? So focus on writing quality post titles, because that's the only reason people are going to click through to that content. You need header 1, header 2, and header 3 tags, which changes not only the font size on your page, but tells a search engine spider how to properly index your page. So make sure that every blog post that you have and every page on the site has a header 1, a header 2, and a header 3 tag. WordPress by default makes the title of your page an H1 tag, so you're already putting your best foot forward in terms of getting indexed by a search engine. You want to use bold text on key points. Make it really interesting to read your content by bolding those key points. The way that I explain it usually to clients is if you read just the header 1 tags and just the bold text on every page, you should be able to know what that entire page is about by just reading those things. Avoid long paragraphs. Nobody wants to read those. Keep them short. They should be 3 to 4 sentences at the absolute most, so make sure that they're short and concise. You need inbound and outbound links. Don't be afraid to give some of your traffic juice away to other resources, because ultimately you want them to link back to you and give you those resources. So make sure that you have outbound links to other websites where people can have a better user experience and gain more information, and also be sure to have inbound links ideally to the pages that are going to create revenue for you. You want to use photos. When you use photos, make sure you caption and credit those photos properly. You don't want to get dinged by iStock Photo. You don't want to go on Google and pull an image off the Google image search. There's plenty of places to get free imagery or inexpensive imagery, so make sure that you purchase your images, don't steal them, and caption and credit them properly. You don't want photographers or anybody getting mad that you stole their content. Add rich media. You want to have infographics, videos, lists, and polls, and things on your site that make it interesting for somebody to be there, that provide value to them and make them want to come back. You want to proofread and view your content live before you post it on the site. Something as simple as one spelling error can make the difference of whether or not somebody will take you seriously going forward, or whether or not somebody will invest with you. It's as simple as that. And make sure that you preview it before you post it on the site. You don't want to post a piece of content up and then pull it back down. Make sure that you use post thumbnails. A thumbnail is a small image that is associated with a post title that captivates somebody enough to click that link. If your post title isn't good enough, hopefully your post thumbnail will convince them that it's worth clicking on that link. You want to use a short excerpt or no excerpt, which is usually 1 or 2 sentences about your blog post that kind of prefaces it and lets somebody know what that blog post is about before they actually click on it. I personally don't use excerpts. I think that my titles and my thumbnails are captivating enough, but that's up to your discretion. Schedule posts. In WordPress, it's really, really easy to schedule posts in the future. So schedule posts at times of the day where people are most likely to hit your site. Use Google Analytics and view the heat map of when people hit your site, what time of the day, and schedule your posts to go up during those times so they can gain the most traction. The next is you want to react, comment, and link to content not only on your site, but on other sites. Go to your competitors' sites, comment on interesting content, and casually link back to your content. If people see you engaging with the community, something as simple as a comment on a competitor's site could link them to your site, and they may come to your site every day for the rest of their life. You want to use keyword-rich permalinks that show your blog title. In WordPress, you have the ability to say page ID 20, or you can say that you have a page ID 20 or some other number. You want to make sure that you use the title of your blog post in the link, so it says ambitioninsight.com/how to blog properly. The next are 7 key lead gen practices. For lead gen, you want to keep a simple and prominent way of identifying and speaking to your ideal client. Who is the person that's on this website? Why are they going to fill out this lead? Make it simple and speak specifically to them. Don't worry about the person that's buying the lead. Worry about the person that is the lead. You need a clear and obvious call to action. So you want to make sure that they're always being encouraged to fill out that form, submit their information, request a quote, whatever it is that you're going to be able to sell. You want to make sure that you're consistently clear and obvious about what you want them to do. Fill out this form, fill out this form, fill out this form. For your lead form, you want a short lead form, as short as possible, that has only the essential questions necessary to qualify and sell that lead. So keep your lead form short. Don't ask unnecessary questions. Don't ask where did you come from. Just say only the questions that are going to be necessary in order for you to sell the lead. You need content that consistently encourages action. So back again to number 2 with the calls to action. Consistently be encouraging them. If you fill this form out, you're going to get a lot of great value from this. You really want to do this. Thanks for coming to this site. This was a really smart move. You really want to fill out this form because you're going to get a great piece of value from this. Again, clear, concise, and informative value adds that demonstrate authority. If you want people to fill out your lead generation form, they need to know that you know everything there is to know about the topic that they're filling out a lead for. So add frequently asked questions, post recent news around that industry, and share resources to other places they can go for more information about what you're trying to gather your leads about. You need short, bulleted lists of key points and value. Again, focus specifically on what creates the value for them and encourages them to fill out that lead form. And next, make sure that there's a really clear way for somebody to advertise on that page and also for them to buy those leads. So somebody that comes to this site and says, this would be great, I'm an attorney, I want these leads that come from this great site, make it really clear and easy for them to not only advertise their services there, but to buy the leads that you generate. So this is a design, layout, and widget guide for both blog and lead generation. So these are important components that every blog or lead generation should have. And don't worry about taking notes, there is going to be a link to the presentation at the end. So you need a 2-column layout. I don't think a 3-column layout is really effective, so I would always try to focus on 2-column. Keep your logo and header small and simple. People don't care what your logo looks like. All they care about is what's in it for me. Make sure that you have big and easy to read blog post titles and titles of your pages. Once again, make it really, really simple. Make sure that you have a bright link color that encourages someone to post. If your link color is gray or similar to the black that your normal text is, it's not going to encourage someone to click it, and ultimately those links are what's going to drive the most value for you. Don't be afraid to include the post date and thumbnails. Show that you're consistently posting content. Even if it's once a month or once a quarter, don't be afraid to show the date that you posted your most recent content. You want to make sure that your layout is clean and uncluttered. Anything that doesn't push those main points or create value, get rid of it. You want to make sure that there's calls to action. Fill out this form, sign up for my email newsletter. You always want to be calling to action and encouraging them to do something. Make sure that your photos and your colors are specific to your ideal client. If your colors are about food, then it may want to be red or orange or yellow, things that encourage people. Foods that are commonly associated with comfort foods. If it's blue, maybe that's medical, etc. So make sure that your colors are specific to your ideal client. Again, make sure that it's mobile friendly. And keep a lightweight or limited sidebar. If you have a 2-column layout, make sure that your sidebar only has the most essential items and eliminate all of the extra stuff. For the footer of your website, put a thumbnail of your logo, put your tagline, focus on those key focal points or your site description, links to your social media. You definitely don't want to put your links to social media up at the top all the time, because once they're at your site, you definitely don't want to send them away. And put your less important sections like your privacy policy and your contact down in the footer, and don't distract them from the main points which are going to drive your revenue. Some suggested placements for your sidebar include your lead generation form, a place to sign up for your mailing list, a calendar, your recent posts, graphics that highlight key pages or areas of your site that drive revenue, and an area for them to search your page for the content that they're looking for specifically. Once again, focusing on the user experience. The next is the suggested pages and components for a lead gen site. You should have a find a quote, find an attorney, find a doctor, find a plumber. It should be the first page on your site. Something that gives them the ability to find that person, get that quote, or get exactly what they're looking for. You should have a page that explains how it works. It sounds pretty simple, but you want to explain exactly how this works. You're going to fill out this form, we're going to find an attorney for you, they're going to contact you in 24 hours. Spell it out and make it as simple as possible. Again, have the ability for them to advertise or buy leads. Have reviews and testimonials and other valuable add-ons. Have an about or a background of you and why you are the most authoritative person to give advice or information on this particular topic. Have a contact page so they can get in touch with you if they have questions, they want to advertise, or they want more info. Have a frequently asked questions and a privacy policy. Some of the key components include a homepage lead generation form. If you're doing lead gen, your homepage needs to have a lead gen form on the homepage. It's crazy not to have it there. Put a phone number. Don't be afraid to have a phone number. Give them the ability to call you and curate those leads and make them feel comfortable that when they fill out this information, they're going to get connected with somebody that can really provide them value. Make sure that your graphics and content establish trust and authority. So have seals, guarantees. We guarantee your money back if you don't get connected with the right attorney in the right period of time or whatever it is. Try things like live chat, SSL certificates, seals, and guarantees. Once again, that establish your credibility and your authority, and let them know that you're going to be able to create the most value for them. So the next is the suggested pages and components for a blog. You want your primary blog categories up in the header bar. You want an advertise page. You want a best of that highlights your highest quality and most valuable content. You want a submit page so that people can submit press releases and submit other content. You want a contact page, an about page, a join the team or contribute page so that other people can contribute to your blog. And you want to make sure that you have a privacy policy as well. Key components of the sidebar of a blog should be, you need 2 above the fold ads at the top of your page and at the top of your sidebar. Every blog should only have 2 primary ads above the fold, meaning as soon as you load the page without having to scroll, there should be 2 ads visible immediately. You want to make sure that your revenue generators are prominent, that they know that you can push them directly to whatever is going to create the most value for you immediately once they hit the page. You want to focus on your page speed. Use Google Analytics to check the speed of your site because that will determine how quickly it can load on a mobile device. And a quicker loading page means more people will stay and more people will come back. Something as easy as as simple as a second of lag time can make somebody not want to come back to this page. When you're creating your blog initially, start with broad top-level categories, like music, for example. Once you start to develop a lot of music posts, then break it down to different genres of music over time. Start with super broad categories initially, and start to build the categories out over time. That way it looks like your site is full. As it starts to fill up with content, you make it more and more specific so they can hammer down to exactly what they want. And that's what I mentioned with the develop specific subcategories over time. The next is Infinite Scroll, which is a WordPress plugin that allows you to scroll through your blog post without having to click to the next page. I'll talk about a plugin that allows you to do that. You're going to see that commonly on a lot of blogs these days, and it just encourages people to consume more content, which ultimately makes you more money. Next is 16 essential WordPress plugins. Everything with an asterisk has a premium component. I would suggest that you most definitely invest in the premium version all the time. It's going to create so much more value for you. These are the 16 most essential plugins that I've used to create lead generation sites and blog sites for the last 5 years. Yoast Seo, which is a roadmap to how to properly search engine optimize your blog posts and the pages of your site. Absolutely necessary, should be the first plugin that you install every time. Gravity Forms, by far the best lead generation plugin that exists on the market today. $39 a year, can't go wrong. Will allow you to create a high quality lead generation form in less than 5 minutes. It also gives you the ability to have somebody have somebody pay through the form, and has a ton of other features that are most definitely worth that $39. Special Recent Posts Pro is a WordPress plugin that allows you to show your recent posts with more than just the title. You can show the thumbnail, which is going to coerce somebody to click on that link. Discuss is a commenting plugin that allows people to actively engage and comment on your content using their Facebook login, a Google login, a Twitter login. So you definitely want to encourage people to comment. It's going to keep them coming back. It's going to keep the dialogue going, and ultimately it's going to create more value and a better user experience. Optinmonster is the best WordPress plugin I've ever found for getting people to sign up to your email newsletter. Most definitely worth the investment. They have dozens and dozens of different ways to get people to sign up, including pop-ups, so you most definitely want to have that plugin as well. Wptouch Pro is one of the best and easiest mobile website plugins for WordPress, and it's going to quickly and easily turn what you have as a responsive site into now a mobile-friendly site, even more so than just being responsive. You can even change the content so that you have a click-to-call button and other things that are served specifically to your mobile users. So I would definitely recommend that plugin as well. Add This is a social plugin that puts Facebook like buttons, Twitter like buttons, retweet buttons, and things at the bottom of your page. Definitely good because it's going to encourage people to share your content socially. The next is Next Gen Gallery, which is probably the best photo gallery plugin that I've ever found. I would definitely recommend that plugin as well, especially in the case of when you have a large quantity of photos or you want to create nice pop-up galleries. That's the best plugin for it. Woocommerce is if you want to create an e-commerce platform or sell products. It's the most popular e-commerce plugin for WordPress. I would most definitely recommend that one. And there's a ton of information online that are going to show you why that one is so great. Members and Roles is a WordPress plugin that allows you to give different permissions to different people that access your blog. So you don't want to create an administrator account for everybody in your organization. You might want to give them the ability to create their own blog posts, edit their own blog posts, but not delete other people's blog posts. So that will allow you to have different roles for different people at different layers in your company. Animated Infinite Scroll allows people to not go from page to page to read your blog posts. It allows them to just infinitely scroll through your posts and thus consume more content and spend more time on your site. WP Page Navi is a way to let people navigate through pages if you choose not to use Infinite Scroll, but I would definitely recommend using the Infinite Scroll. MailChimp is the most popular free email newsletter software. Definitely would recommend that plugin as well because you want people to sign up to that newsletter. It's going to be another way for you to drive traffic to your site and ultimately meaning that it improves the performance of your site by saving a temporary version on the user's computer so that it doesn't always hit your server every time somebody loads a page, which reduces your hosting costs and improves the performance of the page when a user is on it. S2 Member is the best plugin I've ever found for creating a membership website where a user can create an account, log in, and have access to a private area. So these are some development resources, and once again, don't need to take notes because this will be available at the end online. The first is where to get started. Websiteschool.com is a site that I created with 130 HD training videos, which will teach you exactly how to get started in WordPress from step one. What is WordPress? Why should I use it? How do I add a photo? How do I add a page? How do I embed a YouTube video? It's all in websiteschool.com. This is probably the 7 best places you can find WordPress themes and plugins. I really like WPMU Dev. I really like Pagelines for themes, and all of these other ones are high quality resources where you can get the best plugins and the best themes around. The next is photos, fonts, and graphics. All of these options have paid and free images, so there's no excuse for stealing anybody's images. There's plenty of places to get them for free. The best resources for SEO include Moz.com, Open Site Explorer, Search Engine Land, SEO Quake, and Google Webmaster Tools. If you need to optimize your page, first have that SEO plugin by Yoast, and hit those resources for more information about how to properly optimize your page. The next is helpful services, Cloudflare, Yesware, and Cirrus Insight, which are email templates, which gives you the ability to quickly respond back to people that submit content. Manage WP, which I first heard about from Adam Dicker, which is how you manage multiple WordPress sites. Really helpful tool. Tint is a way to attribute your content, so when somebody copies a paragraph on your website, it'll automatically append the link when they paste it somewhere else. Built with is how you figure out how a website is built, and Dynamic Drive is a way to get some free tools and free resources. So these are some popular blog growth strategies, which you'll probably notice from some of the most popular sites on the web right now, like BuzzFeed and Upworthy. The first is to exploit the curiosity gap, which is commonly referred to as clickbait, which is an article title that withholds details, like "This baby nearly died from being kissed and you need to know why." Now you need to know why. You're gonna definitely click that. Sites like Viral Nova have used this strategy for several years now and made 6 figures per month in revenue in 2014, so this most definitely works. You definitely want to encourage people by giving them just enough information that they're interested, but withhold those very specific details so that they click through the blog post and read the content. This is also really helpful on social media and really encourages people to hit your site. The next is Listicles, which were made popular by BuzzFeed. 21 photos that will restore your faith in humanity. Once again, exploits the curiosity gap, is a little bit of clickbait. It's a blog post that has a whole lot of photos, not a whole lot of text, is really easy to consume and is entertaining. The next is to paraphrase news items as a way of creating blog posts. So today in the Wall Street Journal, such and such happened. Post a quote from the Wall Street Journal, post your own take on it, and then link them to that article. Don't be afraid to give your link juice away to somebody else, because you're creating, again, a great user experience and you're providing value to your users, which is ultimately going to keep them coming back. The next is to post photo slideshows, galleries, and multiple page blog posts. That tag that's listed right there in red, you can add anywhere in your blog post and it will create multiple pages of that blog post. So you'll say, so if you have 21 photos of how to restore your faith in humanity, put 1 photo on each page and you're going to get 21 times the page views from that blog post. And once again, remember, don't sacrifice the user experience. That is the most important thing. You want your users to have a great experience and get a great amount of value when they come to your site. Every single thing that you do on your website should always take that into consideration. So now the good stuff. The primary revenue streams. So there's going to be a lot of them. So advertising is sold in 4 primary different ways: CPM, CPC, CPA, and CPL. CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. It's the most common way of selling advertising, and is the most favorable to the publisher, which would ultimately be you. CPC is cost per click, which means that an advertiser only pays when someone clicks on that ad. Not going to be as favorable to the publisher, and really isn't quite as common these days. Cost per action means that the advertiser only pays when the user takes an action. So they download a product, they interact somehow, and you only get paid if they take that action, like purchasing an item, for example. The next is CPL, or cost per lead. So they fill out their name, phone number, email address, what they're interested in. Maybe, let's say it's a moving quote, where are they moving from and where are they moving to? You only get paid if somebody fills out that form and then you sell the lead. Your display advertising primary banner sizes are 728 by 90 pixels and 300 by 250 pixels. Your 728 by 90, which is a horizontal advertisement, should be at the top of your page and should be the first thing on your page above all of your design and above all of your content. Your 300 by 250 pixel advertisement should be at the top of your sidebar and should be prominent above the fold as soon as they load the page. Different methods of banner advertising include banners, leaderboards, high impact ads, which are usually huge ads that can expand down and take up more of the page. Background takeovers, which you commonly see in the sidebar of a website. You'll see those on BuzzFeed, on eBay, and on a lot of other popular sites. Pop unders and toolbar advertisements. So all of these are different ways that you can sell banner ads on your site. Sovereign, Google AdSense, AdMedia, Advertising.com, Chitika, Specific Media, and Sonobi are just a few examples of places that you can get display banners to put on your site immediately. What I think is one of the most valuable ways to make money from your site is to partner with an ad network that already sells advertisements to companies in your vertical. So if you can find an ad network that specifically tailors to music blogs, for example, try to connect with that ad network. Don't be afraid to give up a higher percentage of your revenue to them because they're already selling to the people that are buying ads on sites like yours. It's gonna save you a lot of time, and ultimately, although you'll lose a little bit of money per ad that you sell, you're gonna sell more ads faster, and it's gonna allow you to focus on making a better blog and creating a better user experience. Where the money is really at in advertising is video pre-roll. If you can put videos on your site and sell advertisements before those videos, you're gonna command a 5 to 6 times CPM as you would with a traditional banner ad. So that means that if a video is playing and really engages that user, you're gonna make 5 times as much money from that same advertising real estate. The next is lead generation. You have a lead that has a phone number, an email address, a location that they're coming from, and where they're going to. You can sell that lead to somebody that would be able to use that to grow their business, like a lead for an attorney. What type of attorney are you looking for? Give us some information about your case. Where are you located at? The next is advertorials and press releases. So you're gonna get contacted constantly from people that wanna post press releases on your site. So sell blog posts, sell them press releases, sell your own spin on it, and you can price those pretty much however much you want, depending on the traffic that comes to your site. The next is gonna be branded content. So creating a piece of content and saying that this content was presented to you by JetBlue, for example, is a way that you can take a piece of content, brand it with an advertisement, and not have a traditional banner ad, and still be able to generate money. The next is reviews and giveaways. People are gonna start sending you products, and they're gonna say, do you wanna give away some tickets? Do you wanna give away some items? You can sell that giveaway or sell that review for however much you want, depending on how much traffic you have. And really, there is no industry standard for pricing, so it's just whatever you wanna tell them. I would encourage you to reach out to other blogs in the space, see what their pricing is, and then price yours accordingly based on that. And then increase your price over time, depending on how much traffic comes to your site. The next is related posts. So at the bottom of a blog post, you'll commonly see a bunch of links that say links from our partners or links from other websites in the space. Places that you can get those ads are Content Ad, Gravity.com, Taboola, and Relate. It's a way to monetize your below the fold inventory, or the inventory that is not, or the real estate on your website that is not visible as soon as you load the page once they scroll through your blog post. It's gonna generate you a lower CPM, but it's a great way to just generate some extra cash from space that otherwise would not be generating any money. The next is text link units and other plugins like media.net and Discuss. Both of them have the ability to monetize your below the fold inventory with some basic text links. And then next is affiliate ads and cost per action. Amazon affiliates, CJ, and Linkshare are great places where you can get affiliate advertisement. I personally think affiliate advertisement only works if you're constantly pushing those affiliates. So if you're doing reviews of computers, affiliates might work well for you because people are in there reading reviews of computers, they're most likely to go and buy it. But if you have a blog that's not specifically related to products, then affiliates really don't usually work as well. The next is secondary revenue stream. Mobile advertising, which could become primary depending on your content, or depending on how optimized your site is for mobile. Social media posts and sponsorship. They come to your website, they love your site, they buy a blog post. Well, we also have a Facebook page with 80,000 followers. We also have a Twitter page with 5,000 followers. Sell them a post on that social media account as well. Bring them in with the site, and then sell them some social posts. Once again, a social media post takes you just a few seconds to post, and they can be sold for a lot of money depending on your followers. The next is email blasts and newsletters. If you have a large email database, that goes directly to somebody's inbox, which usually goes directly to their phone, so it's a really valuable marketing tool. The bigger an email list you can generate, the more you can charge for those email blast advertisements. The next is Google custom search, which is basically just putting a search bar on your site that searches Google. If they click a Google ad through that search, you'll make a small fraction. Not really the greatest way to monetize, but definitely is a secondary stream. The next is to create a forum, a directory, a classified, or a job board, and then sell posts in that job board, posts in that classified directory, or posts in that forum. Maybe you sponsor a section of the forum. The next is to sell products or merchandise. So put your logo on it, put an interesting comment that relates to the types of users that are coming to your site, and then sell them that merch. The next is a membership site, which is access to an information product, resources, recurring billing, or per page or per post access. So if you want access to this ebook, you pay $1.99, you access this page using something like S2 Member, and then you can charge them for that individual post. And the next revenue stream is the value from freebies and other offerings, which is what's going to come first. So someone's going to start offering you free content. One of the first things I got on collegecures.com was a free laptop. I had to write 5 blog posts about that laptop and why I loved it so much. As soon as I finished writing those 5 blog posts, I sold the laptop on eBay for $1,100. So the next is how you maximize your ad revenue. So now that we know all these different ways to create ad revenue, how do we really maximize it? The key is to put only 2 display ads per page. The more ads you put, the lower the value each of them are, and it's really gonna waste space on your site, create a poor user experience, and it's not really gonna make you any money. So limit your display advertisements to 2 per page. The next is you want to prominently display your high impact ads. So your above the fold ad, your primary advertisement, should be at the very, very top of your page, above the design, above the logo, and should be the first thing that loads when somebody lands on your page. Put it directly below your head tags and make sure that it, like I said, is the first thing to load as soon as somebody hits your site. The next is to integrate video, as I mentioned before. Video CPMs generate 5 to 6 times as much revenue, which is a pretty compelling reason to put video on your site. The more video you share, the more people are going to realize that there's video on your site, the easier it's going to be for you to sell video pre-roll advertisement. The next, as I mentioned before, is to have a premium ad network, somebody that's already selling to people that are buying ads in your space. Makes it a whole lot easier for you to reach the key decision makers that are going to ultimately make you the most money the fastest. The next is to modify your above the fold and your below the fold ad inventory. So as I mentioned before, you want your 728 by 90 at the top, your 300 by 250 on the side, above the fold, and then you want to use things like related posts and things like discuss to monetize your below the fold inventory that otherwise wouldn't be generating any cash. The last, which I think is the real opportunity here, is native advertisements and sponsorships. I honestly feel like these are worth by far the most money. Native advertisements are ads that match the form and function of your website. So if your website posts blog posts every day, you want to sell blog posts. You want to sell something that looks and feels like your normal website content, but is sponsored. An advertiser just wants to reach your audience in the most nondescript way possible. People gloss over advertisements at the top and gloss over advertisements on the sidebar. But if they're reading blog posts every day and you post a sponsored blog post that provides value to them, that's going to be the most compelling advertisement to a potential buyer. So focus on native advertisement because it cuts out the middleman. You can charge less for it and you can make more money from it. So native advertisement, I would sincerely encourage you to research and make sure that you create advertisement on your own without focusing on the banner ads. Create something that looks and feels like a normal piece of content, and you're going to be able to monetize that better than anything else. The next is the 80-20 principle, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of your action. So focus on the brands. That's where all the money is. That's who's going to spend the most. By selling to one single brand, you'll make a whole lot more money than you'll make selling to 20 smaller people. The brands move quicker, spend more money, and spend money faster. So focus on the brands, focus on something, and when you're contacting people to potentially advertise on your site, start at the top, at the biggest possible brand, and work your way down. Don't worry about the small guy, because again, 80% of your results are gonna come from 20% of your action. And the last is to get creative. If you have a calendar, have a featured calendar item. Make it so that an advertiser looks at it and it makes perfect sense. This thing is right in the front, everybody is looking at this page. Make it simple and easy and creatively make money from the space that you have. Don't always rely on a banner advertisement to make you the money. Get creative and sell whatever you can come up with. And make sure that you have a media kit that clearly explains what you're selling so that they know exactly what they're buying ahead of time. Because when you're creating a new form of advertisement, they need to clearly have it spelled out as to why it's going to create the most value for them. And last but not least, how to stand the test of time. 4 main points. Provide overwhelming value. Focus on the user experience and make it so that they really get a lot of value from your site. You do that by posting great, authoritative content consistently all of the time. The next is to growth hack. Buy advertisement, buy followers, and build your social pages up and just advertise aggressively. If you advertise aggressively, you can make yourself look bigger than you are, quicker than you are, and you'll be able to sell your advertisements faster. And the next thing, number 4, is to advertise. Don't be afraid to spend money on advertising. If you expect people to advertise with you, then you absolutely need to advertise first. The next is to analyze your key metrics over time with Google Analytics. Look at your site entrances, where people are entering the page. Are they going specifically to a blog post? Are they going specifically to the calendar? Are they going specifically to the lead generation form? Analyze where they're entering your site, because that's going to show you who's creating the most links for you outside your site. The next is your traffic sources. Pay attention. If you're posting on Facebook and you're investing $1,000 a month, and you're posting on Twitter and you're investing $1,000 a month, but Facebook generates you 10 times as much traffic, look at your traffic sources, reduce what you invest in Twitter, and invest more in Facebook. You always have to pay attention to these metrics all of the time, otherwise, because it will give you the roadmap for where you can advertise and where people are most likely to come from to engage with your content. The next is to focus on your time on site or your time on page. Realize what's making people stay on those pages longer. Google Analytics will show you how long somebody spends, how much time somebody spends on an individual page, an individual blog post, or an individual section. So keep an eye on that time, because it's gonna keep more people on the site longer, which is gonna generate more page views, which is gonna generate you more revenue. The next is you want to monitor your popular content, your popular posts, and your popular pages, and create more content that's similar to that popular content. The next is focus on your popular categories. Your top level items are going to be your highest traffic pages of the site. Whichever category is the most popular and gets the most page views, make it the first category. Whichever gets the second most traction, make it the second category. Give the people what they want, not what you want to serve them. The next is to focus on mobile performance, which you can also find in Google Analytics. Look how many people are accessing your site from a mobile device, and look at how much time they spend on that page. If they don't spend as much time as they should, like 15 or 20 seconds, you need to upgrade your mobile site, maybe make it load faster so that you can increase your mobile traffic and then increase your mobile revenue. And again, number 6 talks about what I just mentioned, which is order your navigation menu by the top performing pages and revenue drivers. Make your layout adjustments regularly. So don't be afraid to rearrange different parts of your site, try different things, and figure out what works the best by consistently monitoring those key metrics, which are the time on site and what the most popular pages and sections are. And then test and measure. Don't be afraid to try something. Look at how it performs over the course of the next week, and then try something different. If it doesn't work, switch it back. That's the beauty of WordPress. It makes it really easy and simple for you to change your content on the fly, and you can do that every single week. And last, but most important, and definitely not least, is to love it. If you don't create a website that's around something that you love, it's never gonna make money. You have to really, really love what you're doing, because your site visitors will have a great user experience, they'll understand why they're there, and it will create the most value for them because you love doing it. And you'll be able to do something that really gives them unique value. So definitely make sure that you love it before you build it. And that's it. You can access the presentation online at ambitioninsight.com/TDC. Learn more at websiteschool.com. That's my personal phone number and email right there. And thank you all so much for your attention. I very much appreciate it.